My husband and I started Australian fashion brand Elk in 2004. Adam and I both grew up with nature in our life. I grew up on a rural property and he grew up seeking nature always. Those firm values of being outside and connected to our environment have been fundamental. We both seek that natural environment to feel like we can breathe. It's really important for us to feel like what we're doing has as least impact as possible. Conscious fashion means that at every step along the design process, we think about the decisions we make and the steps that we take. That goes into the way that a garment is designed and constructed, the materials that they're made from, how they're packaged and how they're shipped. As we worked and our business grew and we got to know our makers really, really well, we started to travel more and we started to see things that in some cases were pretty uncomfortable. The real turning point for us in our journey was actually when we went to see one of our makers in Southeast Asia. We questioned this maker about the conditions people were working in and thought that what we saw needed to be better. We started to interrogate and to try and look deeper into our whole supply chain. We tried to understand what impact we had environmentally and on the workers as well through every product that we made. I think once you open that door to understanding, you really can't close it. I think when we started researching, there was this enormous and intense feeling of being overwhelmed. There was so much to do, there was no playbook. And so we ploughed on our own for a while and Amadio, our head of creative, travelled together to try and find new makers. We went to try and find new materials.
And this one is viscose polyamide, which is out. Viscose polyamide poly out. So in terms of which one do you think would be better for long-term use and comfort and wear?
We put a line in the sand and we used globally recognised third-party audits to show us where the factories were at in terms of environmental and social compliance. We put in place a code of conduct, we put in place a set of parameters for onboarding new suppliers. We also put in place a preferred materials guide. This guide rates fibres from A+ and transformational down to D, fibres we're phasing out. Transparency for us is so important because it lifts the lid on what it's like behind the scenes. And I think so much of the fashion industry is actually shrouded in mystery. There is complex supply chains and there are people and many, many hands that touch this product. And it's incredibly complex, but as a small business, that is our advantage. We can actually see where our product's made. We're incredibly lucky to have Vibe, who's the head of sustainability at Elk.
It's more outcome focused rather than just using less pesticides or the things that are predominant in organic cotton. I'm not saying that it's not a good option. It's just the regenerative part is a little bit more than just agricultural techniques.
We've seen many of our goals progress much faster than we thought they would. Adam's got a fantastic logistical head and he's been able to help us progress some of those goals that relate to the function and facility of the operations themselves.
We're 100% powered by renewable energy. We also have our bees, water tanks and recycling and compost. But we also process our waste cardboard into a packaging material using this machine here for goods that have to go out and be wrapped for some protection.
It's not enough just to say you're going to do something. What we do is we hold ourselves accountable by producing a transparency report every year. It's a full view into our whole operation. This is a way for us to demonstrate the journey that we've been on, where we're at the moment and where we're going. Getting a product back in circulation is one of the greatest things we can do. It's critical that that product has a life after use. When we take back a garment, it's laundered, it's repaired, and it's rebadged as renew. The message that we want to convey is that you have to lead from the top, and that as founders, we're making sure that this work is always a priority. Fashion is what we do, conscious is the way we think, and transparency is the way that we make ourselves accountable. We don't have everything figured out. That's something that we want to make very clear. There's a lot that we still have to learn. There's a lot that we still have to do, and our list is very long. What we're trying to do at Elk is really prove that there's a different way of doing things. Change can be painfully slow. But what we want people to understand, and our team to understand, and also our suppliers, is that change is needed.